Welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. This is your basketball segment, and I'm your host, Bryan Spencer, head men's basketball coach at Carver College. And we're welcomed and joined today by a good friend of mine, Mr. Bo Bivens, interim head coach over at Clark Atlanta University. And man, Bo, I appreciate you. This is the second week in a row, man. I've had a last minute guest, man. So yours is truly last minute, like.
Hey, man, they said that's what friends are for, man.
Hey,
you know
man, most definitely, man, because you just got out of practice, right?
Man, just left the flow.
Right, man. So listen, man, I appreciate it, man. I really do appreciate it, man. So just real quick, man, because, you know, a lot of people, I know when I had my basketball team come over to your school, you know, they never heard of you. They didn't know who Bo Bivens was. And man, I want you, and I don't want the short list. I don't want the short list. I want you to run down your resume, your bio to our audience. Yeah, man, run it down. Run it down.
Oh man. I'm originally from Detroit. And I love saying that, the Brewster Projects, the east side of the city. Because they really gave me my culture, my pedigree, man, just to work hard for everything that you get. Just to play pickup, man, you had to earn that. You know, if you was on the court and you had your ball, you was working out, they came and took your ball. You had to earn your ball back.
Right.
So, my DNA is hard work, and so from that standpoint, I walked on at Grambling State University, where I played the 1 and the 2, and just worked hard to earn a scholarship. It was a walk-on position, and earned a scholarship that way. And so played, did some great things at Grambling. And, like I said, I just thank them for giving me an opportunity. But then from there, I started coaching as a graduate assistant. I don't even know if they have GAs anymore.
Right.
But definitely I started out as a GA on the women's side. And as a GA, it was very, very interesting opportunity, because my assistant coach on the men's side, they moved him over to the women's side. And so I went over there to visit him. And, I told the head coach at the time, Miss Patricia Bibbs, Hall of Fame coach, I said, well, I know you need some help over here. Need some help with them guards, And so the next day I come over there and she say, Coach, there go your office. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And so I was in charge of
just like that.
Oh yeah, just like that. But see, no, it wasn't just like that, Coach. It was the foundation of my work, my body of work leading up to that. I wasn't just no riffraff, coming off the street.
Right.
And it happened just like that. She knew how hard I worked by the time I stepped on that campus, the type of person that I was, my character, and all of that. So everything, played a role in her saying, come on. And it was a blessing because they, paid for school too. What I mean? So that was a blessing, man. And in that position as a graduate assistant, I was getting my master's degree. I was also teaching, criminal justice, and I had my daughter, man. My daughter, she wasn't even 1 yet. My wife at the time was in the Army, and she had orders to go over there to Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, and she was over there. So I had to take care of my daughter. So, and I say all that to say that, a lot of times people, make excuses about why they're not successful. You know what I mean? As opposed to doing what you have to do to become successful.
Right.
And so from that standpoint, we won a few championships, at Grambling State. And I do take a lot of credit in this success just for the simple fact that I was over the guards, right? I did film exchange. I did the pregame, she allowed me to do a lot, that was very integral into the success of what we had. We had the nation's longest home win streak, most consecutive 100-point games, led the nation in scoring, You know, my guards were, you know, they were doing their thing. So, so just the taste of success as a graduate assistant, you know, kind of, you know, set my vision, you know, moving forward, you know. So after Grambling, my wife, she, like I say, was in the military. So we went to Fort Hood, Texas, you know.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm out there, and I was at a high school, you know, Temple High School, you know, where I don't know if you remember Coach Miller. Harry Miller used to coach at Baylor back in the day. He was the head coach at Temple. He left Temple, went to Baylor, where he had Bryan Skinner. You know, Bryan Skinner. Yeah, you remember him? Yeah. So he went to Temple as well.
Okay.
And so the coach at the time took over for Harry Miller and hired me as a sophomore coach, right? So he said, man, I got to use you, you know what I mean?
Right.
So he had his JV coach, he had his ninth grade coach, you know, so I was the head sophomore coach, man. So I had 6 or 7 guys that couldn't play JV or varsity. So he made up a squad for me, man. You know, Bruce Etheridge, man. I'll never forget it, man. So and I don't know how many other schools had sophomore teams, but they were just excited to put on a uniform, man.
Right.
You know, and so we did that for a season, man, and then ended up coaching at Copper's Cove, you know, high school, where that program, you know, was a football school, man. A lot of the kids that I had the ninth grade squad at that time.
Right.
So ninth grade, you know, we didn't lose, man. I had a bunch of football tough athletes, man, and so it was a great experience because a lot of them, I know one of them, Vontez Duff, he went to Notre Dame. Aaron McKee went to Iowa. I had TJ Holloway went to Nebraska. Now these football guys that played basketball for me, man. And so
I know you. I know that, man. That's your pedigree right there.
Oh yeah, no, man. It all day, man. And so so those guys had a great experience. We won a lot of tournament championships and things of that nature. And then they went on to win, you know, football championships as well. But there was a young lady, golly, what is her name? Sure. She played at Copper's Cove, man. One of the coldest girls I ever seen play. Went on to play at Purdue.
Right.
She coached at Texas Tech. Oh man, I can't think of her name right now. But anyway, you know, that was a great experience. So during that time, though, the assistant coach who was coaching with me, my assistant coach, got to end up getting a head job at Grambling. And so he called me like, hey, man, I need you, you know. So I went back to Grambling as the top assistant, you know, for the program, man. And we had, you know, some more success.
And now, just for sake of time to speed you up a little bit, you in the Grambling Hall of Fame.
Yeah, man.
Come on, man. Like, get to the meat, man.
You told me you ain't want the skinny. Now you speed me up, man. I don't know what to do, man.
But you know, I know you, man. You're a humble guy, man. And you don't want to.
No doubt, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Doubt.
You don't really want to toot your own horn, man. But I want people to know, man, who may not know your name, you know, and may not even know that you're at Clark Atlanta. You know that, man. This man come from something. Did some work in the pros.
I was getting to that. Man. So
you know, but what I want to do though, man, because I really want to get to this NCAA tournament, man, especially, man, with you. You know, and I forgot, man, when I was telling you from the D, man.
And all day.
I forgot, man. I really want to talk about this tournament, man, and with you being from the D, man, and Michigan looking real good in that tournament. I want to kind of focus on some of that, man. But what I want to do is I want to talk about Gonzaga.
Okay.
Because you know they're on a magical little ride, man. They're chasing that undefeated season we haven't seen in college basketball since Bobby Knight, I think it was, in 76, 77, somewhere around there. And so Talk to me about Gonzaga, man. They're not flashy, you know, um, but they're just so sound, man. Like, what is it? What
It's
is it about them that you've seen? And everybody's going to knock their conference schedule and all that type of stuff. What is it about
right.
them that you see that makes them so special?
Um, it's the culture, man, that Mark Few has set, and players come in with an understanding. One thing that he does do, he identified players that fit his system.
Right,
He's never going to get a player that you say, man, that cat don't fit. Everybody fit.
right,
He's very tactical in his recruiting.
right.
And so the way he runs his program, you know, reminds me of my man at New England, the Patriots,
Okay,
right?
yeah,
So
that's
it's,
good.
it's a culture, that's understood by every player. They play their role. They don't do nothing out of character, you know. And so with that, when you come in, you buy into the culture, or you already then bought the culture,
Right,
you know, and
right,
you just you utilize your skill sets to play. But
right.
then the other thing, they have such a strong chemistry with one another
Mm-hmm.
that you could tell, man, they, after practice, they hanging, they doing stuff together
Right,
because that that strengthens your bond, and so Gonzaga has what a lot of other teams don't have. They have chemistry, culture, and skill set, to
right,
add to it.
right,
Some teams have good culture, but the skill sets are
right,
clashing, you know.
right,
And so for them, that culture is already set. They play hard, they not soft. In other words, you can't really rattle them or get into their head,
right,
and you almost have to play a perfect game to beat them,
right,
and
right,
so yeah, it's just kind of like the Bill Belichick,
right,
philosophy, man.
right,
Get guys
right,
that fit your system,
right.
have them understand the expectations and the culture,
Mm-hmm.
and then go out and perform,
Right.
But
Now they get to um the Final Four. I got them in Michigan in my bracket. You know, coming up against each other, man.
mm,
And that's going to be, their biggest test of the year, I would say. And so, he hasn't been able to win the big one. That's the knock on him. What do you see in that team, or do you see in that team the ability to really handle the pressure, man, and finally winning that thing this year? And is Mark Few and I know we coaches, I don't really do the not coaches thing. What do you think he needs to do, if anything, strategy wise, to beat a Michigan?
oh man, you worded that a lot differently than I had anticipated, man. I'm not trying to have Michigan get beat, man, and I'm not trying to get him the pointers on how to beat us.
I know
Man.
that's right. I hear you.
We already down, one player,
Yeah,
but nah, I think it'll be a great game, but one thing, is when you have that pressure of being undefeated,
right.
and that's almost like the first question, in the press conference, and the media is always harping on that.
Every day.
I recall UNLV, man,
Right,
and that year that they had the best team,
wow,
and they got popped.
right.
Same thing with New England Patriots, man. They go undefeated to the Super Bowl
Them
and
Giants,
they got
baby.
popped. So I mean it can happen, but I just feel like, Gonzaga have to beat themselves in order to lose,
Right,
you know. And that's
right.
all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna say,
You say
man.
that.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say, man.
All right, well, let's get to it, man, because you from the D, man,
All day.
and man, one thing, my wife said this to me, man, is that you know they have fun, man. Michigan has fun. Like you can tell they like playing with each other. They got good chemistry. Kind of like what you said about Gonzaga, man. And Juwan Howard coming from that Fab Five team, he knows what it's like to build that type of brotherhood and chemistry and bond, because that was a tight
Oh
squad.
yeah.
That Fab Five. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
do you see any similarities in this team in terms of chemistry to that Fab Five?
I don't. I really
Right,
don't, in the
right,
sense that when you take five guys coming from high school and all of them were superstars in their own right, and you get them to mesh, gel, and buy in. And I mean, you got a kid, Mike Smith, grad transfer from
right,
Columbia. The other guys, they play for the last coach. You know what I mean? Like
right,
it's different. It's different.
right, right.
But the thing Juwan has done is got them to believe.
Mm-hmm,
Like I remember they first lost. I think they lost to Minnesota, and he
mm-hmm.
was clapping before the game was over to say, okay, now we see what we got to work on. You know what I
Right,
mean? It wasn't like
right,
he was upset, this and that. He was just, we take this L, we gonna get better. And
right.
so the game before, I think the LSU game, I thought Mike Smith played the worst game all season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his turnovers were uncharacteristics. He was kind of unsure of himself. He was missing shots he normally make. But to me, he the engine. You know what I mean? I
Yes,
think
sir.
he makes sound decisions.
Right,
I think he does a great job of reading the defense, making the right play.
right,
And then he knocked down the open shots.
right,
If you think about it, like when he go out of the game, you know, he moved Brooks to the one,
right.
and then it's just a little different. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's a great, uh, I guess, a great advantage to have Wagner be able to bring the ball up and do some things as well. But I told people, when I saw them early in the year, man, I said, man, they solid. They
Right.
solid.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I mean? And so, them winning the Big Ten, dropping one in the Big Ten tournament. But each game that I see them, they look solid, man.
Right.
I mean, the guys coming off the bench, they play their role.
Brown.
Uh,
I like Brown coming off that bench,
you got
man.
you gotta love Brown, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's what I be telling people. Like when you coming off of the bench, I tell players all the time, you got to bring something with you. You got to
Right.
bring some energy. You got to bring some
Right.
rebounding, bring some defense.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, all them things, man. So it's one of those situations where they have bought in and they playing their role, but then they believe.
Right.
They believe they can win.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you don't want to give Gonzaga any pointers, but I like watching Michigan, man. Reason why I like them, man, is because a lot of schools you can lock them into a style. They play. This is what they do. You know, they got so many ways that they can play this game, man.
Man, hey,
They'll run that high low. They're running pick and roll with Wagner. I mean, they do a lot of different things, man, that I think gonna pose Gonzaga some problems.
go. The thing I told one of my frat brothers, he coaches well, and he was like, "Oh man, y'all ain't gonna beat LSU, y'all ain't gonna beat Florida." I say, I told him, I say, man, we play different styles. We can play
Yeah,
whatever
man.
style you want, man. We can slow it up. We gonna hit you with this and that. We can speed it up.
Right,
I
right,
mean, we can bang with you.
right,
I mean, and we're not afraid. So
right,
those components or characteristics of a team is hard to beat.
right,
Florida State, they wasn't used to seeing that. You're like,
right.
man, we got this screen, he rolling, he
Yep.
popping, he can
Right,
shoot, he can
right,
take you off the bounce. You know what I mean?
right,
It's like, whoa.
right. Right.
But nah, man, we definitely could play however they want to play. I mean, this UCLA team we got next, we can't overlook them.
No.
The thing about them, in regards to some of these other teams, they can shoot. You
Yes,
know what I
sir.
mean? They got about
Yes,
four
sir.
kids, man, can stroke it.
Yeah, and they confident.
Yeah, man. Florida State couldn't throw it in the ocean, man,
Right.
with a boulder,
Right.
but like I say, I just think that our defense doesn't get enough credit, man.
Mm-hmm.
The activity, the active hands,
Right.
the box out to complete the possession.
Right.
Just different things like that, man. Well, I give credit to Juwan Howard, Howard Isley, who also from the D, you
Right.
know, Sadi from the D. So, he got a great staff with him as well, man. But I just think that our defense, in addition to our offense, really, makes us tough. Yeah,
Yeah. And that's why, because when I listen to commentators and people like that, a lot of people get caught up in the moment, I think sometimes. And, a lot of people I'm a Syracuse guy. I'm from Syracuse, man. And, everybody was on that, Buddy Bayhigh. I said, man, that ain't, that he's not going to keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? That's not going, and that's one reason I couldn't go with Alabama for the same reason. Like, you're going to have a game where those shots aren't just going to drop like that, or you're not going to get those looks like that. And you got to have that defense, you know what I'm saying, to fall back on. And I think Michigan has the balance of solid defense and versatility on offense that allows them to play so many different ways, man, that they to me, they're a tough out, man. I don't see people just letting Gonzaga walk to the championship game on that.
Yeah, well, like I say, man, I'm one of them guys, man. I don't overlook nobody, man. I don't walk past a custodian and not speak. You know what I mean?
Right,
So I just feel like we got to take care of UCLA. You know,
right,
get the Indy. I'm gonna be in
right,
Indy, so we gonna possibly prepare for that championship run. But
right,
prior to that, man, we once again we can't overlook nobody,
right,
nobody.
right, right.
But it'll be a great game though,
Yeah.
because Baylor's still in it too, right?
Yeah, Baylor got they got the next game here tonight after this Houston game. They have Arkansas.
Okay.
Yeah, Baylor and Arkansas, man. So that's going to be
Yeah,
that
that's a
should be a
good
good
one.
game.
Yeah,
That
that's
should
a
be a
good
good one
one.
right there, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know you're from the D, man, but your most unbiased opinion, is Michigan going to cut down the nets?
Now, that's kind of like a contradiction, oxymoron, however you want to say it, man. Hey, man, it's bias all the way, man. Yeah, man. I told somebody, I'm going with Michigan until we lose. What you
Right.
mean? Man, what you got? Man, Michigan, big blue, man. When your grandmother, sit you down at 3 and 4, and I'm
Right.
watching the game with her, and I say, who we going for? She said, you always go for Michigan.
Right. Right.
You know what I
So
mean?
there it is.
Our grandmother said that. So
Right.
nah, man, it's Big Blue, man. Like I say,
Right.
before I went to Grambling, I was going to Michigan.
Right. There you go. There you go. Well,
Yeah.
listen, man. Um, I ran into you, met you at a coaching clinic out at, I believe it was Duluth High School, and we've been connected ever since. I came out and watched you, man. You was coaching some 8th graders, I believe, or something at the time, man. And I was just, and I told you this then, man. Like, AAU is so terrible to me. I just came out of respect to you. I really didn't, and but I was pleasantly surprised, man, because you was coaching. You could tell your players had been coached, and I was like, okay, and I could tell they responded to you. They had an affinity for you. And now, you're the interim head coach at Clark Atlanta. Just talk to me about that opportunity, and what you looking forward to this upcoming season.
Yeah, man. I just once again attribute it to your body of work, man. I think people are always watching you. People are always listening. And so when they severed the ties with Coach Lynch, the AD called me. He was like, I know you coached at Grambling and some other places, and I want you to, sustain this program for me, until there's a change or what have you,
Right,
And so I welcome the opportunity, and rightfully so. I feel like, I'm more than prepared,
right,
for it, but it was just a blessing because it was unexpected.
right,
It wasn't like I'm like, okay,
right,
yeah, I'm gonna get this job, and how some guys are about it. But
right,
no, I just, get up every morning, man. My feet hit the floor. I'm grateful and thankful, and so I just go to work, And
right.
so the AD, ironically, happened to be the AD at Grambling during a period, where I was there, and
Okay,
we,
okay.
we had a relationship based on that, and so just to have this opportunity is big, to impact lives, and I don't believe in coincidences or anything like that. It's definitely for a purpose, and I just believe that, to have these young men, under my tutelage or what have you, it's just a blessing. It's
Right,
just a blessing, man. So I
right,
just want them to work hard. I do take the holistic approach, because I think we preparing them for becoming men. And so discipline, respect, work ethic, yeah, it's just big. I
right,
go by the raw mentality, baby. RAW, respect, attitude, and work ethic.
right,
I think will take you very far. And so that's just it, man. It's funny because a lot of people in the conference, they don't really know about me. A lot of
right,
people in the area like, who is this guy, and
right.
things of that nature.
Oh yeah,
But once I put my fingerprint, on the program and recruiting and everything, then they appreciate my body of work.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know they will, man. I know they will, man. And we definitely in your corner, man, and wishing you much success, man. But what are some of the challenges with, you know, having that interim tag, because
yeah,
of course, you know, I'm sure you want to take that interim off that thing, you know.
yeah,
So what are some of the challenges with that tag, especially with recruiting and guys wanting to
yeah.
know, are you going to be the guy or whatever? So what are speak to some of those challenges?
Uh, I tell them like this: it's out of my control.
Right,
I identify players who I feel that can add to the program and what we trying to do over here. I tell the current players, that's out of my control. We're gonna show up and work every day. So in regards to the interim piece, after interim come head coach. So I run it like it's my program.
there you
I
go.
don't really, dwell on that, because unless the AD say I don't want you doing A, B, C, and D,
Right,
then it's my program,
right,
until they say otherwise or what have you. And that otherwise is out of my control. So I don't even worry about that. But I have received some questions from coaches and recruits. Well, you're gonna be there next year, or I don't want my child coming if you just an interim and this and that. I say, okay, well, if that's the case, then you have to decide what's best for your child,
right.
right? But if we establish a relationship, a rapport, a understanding, then this is it. What I mean?
Hmm.
Because a lot of times kids sign with coaches and that coach lead the next year,
Right, no doubt.
or within that year. So
Right,
I mean, it's a tough profession all the way around. The interim piece is just the fact that the AD or the president or whomever hadn't made a final decision yet. That's
right.
all that means. But until then, I run this program as if I'm the head coach. The interim is in pencil or what have you.
Right,
But the head coach is in ink. So, I don't worry about it. I tell them that's out of my control. But I'm
Right.
gonna give you everything that I have every day that I have.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, man. But we running out on time, man. I appreciate you coming on, man, especially at the last minute. As always, man, it's been a lot of fun. Anytime we talk, man, we got to make ourselves get off the phone, man. But what I want you to do, man, I want you to talk to that parent, talk to that recruit, or even that high school coach or AAU coach, and just tell them why Clark Atlanta University is a good fit, a great opportunity for their child under your regime.
One thing I would say, man, that I've always done and believe that when a parent or a coach, meets me and hands over their child, and I treat them like mine because I want nothing but the best for them. The other thing is that I'm gonna give you everything that I got. I told my kids that when I died, my tombstone, I wanted to read Bo Bivens, "Here lies nothing," because he gave everything. So I want it to be understood that I'm gonna give you my time, I'm gonna give you my knowledge, I'm gonna give you my energy, I'm gonna give you my intellect or whatever it is. I just want to have those opportunities to impact lives, and so I always say, man, the only fingerprint that you can't remove is the life that you touch. And so, when people come in front of you, you got to touch them the best way you can. And like I said, I don't believe in coincidence, man. If it's a kid come here, he's supposed to be here.
Right.
You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? For
That's
however long he be here.
That's right.
If a kid come in, he don't like it, he transferred, but that time that he was here up under me or what have you,
Right.
yeah, his life was touched. His
Right.
life was touched. So,
Right.
if you want the best for your child in regards to, I don't do all that cussing and disrespecting them and things of that nature. I'm gonna treat your child with a lot of respect, and hard work is demanded. Yeah. So definitely, I'm just one of those coaches, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, man, listen, man, it's been a lot of fun, man, and we up against the clock, but I definitely appreciate you coming on at the last minute, man.
Man, hey,
And
Spence, you done said that about 10 times, man. I'm gonna get that on a shirt, man. I'm the last minute guy. Yeah, I'm gonna get that on a shirt, man. I'm last minute. Yeah.
we're gonna have to schedule this next time, man. We got to bring
Okay.
you back and schedule it right before the season, next year. Let's make sure we have you back on, man.
Hey, Spence, anytime, man. You my guy, man. Cause you one of those rare coaches, man, that keep their word, man. The day we exchanged cards, man, we kept in touch, man, and that means more to me than anything, man. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
Guys exchange cards all the time, and they say they're gonna do this. Call me if you need me, or this and that,
Right.
But you kept it real, man. So I appreciate that, man. And that's how I got with the Lakers. Me and the guy exchanged cards, man. And he got with the Lakers front office and he called me.
Right.
But definitely, man, I appreciate you, man. Whether it's last minute, first minute, whatever it is, man. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate you, big dog.
No doubt about it, man. Well, listen, that's our show for today, man. You've been on 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio, your basketball segment. Once again, we were joined by Bo Bivens, and we just going to say the head coach at Clark Atlanta University, the Panthers. And we appreciate him coming on today and blessing our show. And remember, man, until next time, life is only as important as the impact it has on other people's lives. So go out and impact somebody's life in a positive way. Till next week.
My man.